Dude, Megadeth or Metallica? Or can it be both? Or is it one or the other? Let's talk about this. So, like I've said before in the previous episode, Metallica, and specifically the song One, when I was 10 years old, I can't remember if I saw the video first or if a friend of mine played me the song One, or if he had the cassette tape of Injustice for... I really can't... That's a little foggy for me. I apologize. But either way, the Metallica One video, like I said, when I saw those guys jamming in this warehouse, I was like, oh my god, I want to do that. That is awesome. And the music was awesome. It was like... I loved the, even as a kid, I didn't know how to maybe word it, but I loved the dynamics of One, and it was all soft, and then it got kind of heavier, but then it got crazy heavy in the middle. I really liked that progression and stuff, so that really spoke to me. But like I said, when I saw Kirk Hammett play, I was just like, I want to play like that. I want to play guitar like that or whatever, like that. I really wanted to play. Never had the opportunity to play until after my car accident, like I mentioned before, but definitely had a desire to play, but I'm not sure. I don't think I really ever expressed it to my parents. I was always playing sports. I played football, baseball, basketball, and I took karate lessons at kind of throughout that time too. So I was crazy busy as a kid. So, getting guitar lessons wasn't really on my to-do list, but it's if there's more time in the day, it's I wanted to do that kind of thing. But it was a whole other expense and all kinds of things, and that's a whole nother story. But, so I never got guitar lessons, but I definitely always liked music. Like I was saying in the I Love Heavy Metal, I loved listening to heavy metal music, from 10 years old, up until, when I got in the car accident, even through it. But, I listened to Pearl Jam and stuff like that. Like I said, I listened to some gangster rap. But, back to Megadeth and Metallica. So, I'm listening to One, and then I'm like, oh my, I go to the, I think it was Kmart or something, Strawberries or whatever, and I see they have Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning and so I'm like, oh my god. So I end up getting these cassette tapes, and then I listen to Kill 'Em All, I'm like, they're even heavier. And when you go back to I was blown away. But I loved Kill 'Em All, loved Ride the Lightning, loved Master Puppets. I thought those three albums were masterpieces. Like I said, I was a huge Metallica fan, and which that's neither here nor there. But I go back and I discover all this old Metallica, the other records, and I'm like, and even the garage days, I remember going on a July 4th trip with my friend, and I remember seeing the garage days revisited, and we bought that. Again, I was probably 11 or something, or no, I was probably 10. It's when we first discovered Metallica, and we actually bought the garage days one because it was cheap, and so we could buy that with something else. So because I think it was $5.98 or I don't remember. But anyways, huge Metallica fan. Loved Kirk Hammett's playing. Loved the soloing. Loved all the guitar work. Loved the melodies. Being such a big Metallica fan, I always knew the drumming. Look, I'm not a huge Lars Ulrich fan. Kudos to him. He made he definitely made a mark on the world or whatever. So say what you will about his drumming, but the guy, he's just, I don't know what he would have done without James Hetfield. I don't know. James Hetfield just found a way to lock in with him. And look, being in a band is like being in a family. And if you can find people that you gel with, that's a special thing. And so, anyways, huge Metallica fan. Loved Master of Puppets. Loved Fight Fire with Fire. Loved Ride the Lightning, right? Kill 'Em All. Loved all the songs, right? Four Horsemen, Motor Breath, No Remorse, Metal Militia, right? It's cranking songs, Phantom Lord, Blitzkrieg songs, man, and also Blitzkrieg, depending on what version of Kill 'Em All you had. But so all these like crazy awesome songs, and it's like, oh man. So I'm this huge Metallica fan. I would buy like all kinds of bootlegs. They were kind of like, I grew up in Connecticut, so like there were these record stores in Rhode Island that sold like all kinds of like bootlegs and stuff. I would buy like every possible like VHS Metallica tape, live cassette tapes. Well, like I would buy it all. I had like every Metallica T-shirt. I was a huge fan. I was ridiculous. I literally have a Metallica tattoo. I have the Zorlok pirate tattoo on my leg. So, with that being said, around 1992, like right before I lost my sight. Now, I can't explain this to you. I was thinking about this before I started the podcast, this episode. I don't know how I never saw a Megadeth album. Like, throughout my years as a kid going to like I said, Kmart or Strawberries or whatever, department stores, I'm looking at like Anthrax. I see Ozzy Osbourne, Iron Maiden. So I see these bands, but I just cannot recall Megadeth at all. And obviously Megadeth was right next to Metallica, but for whatever reason, I really can't recall Megadeth before 1992. So anyways, I find Megadeth with the release of Countdown to Extinction, and I was kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. I feel like I heard of this guy, Dave Mustaine. Right? And I'm like, so I'm listening to the Countdown. I'm like, man, I love, like, the Countdown to Extinction album is a great album. I don't care what anyone says. There's always haters out there or whatever. But Countdown is right up there with Rust in Peace for me. And The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead, dude, that's Rust in Peace Part 2, man. That's a disgusting album. It's sick. Anyways, so I'm listening to Countdown, Symphony of Destruction, and I'm like, Dave Mustaine, like, why do I feel like I know this name? I'm like, wait a second. I remember seeing this name. It's like, and the credits on Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning, right? Like, I can't recall the songs off the top of my head right now, but it's like, yeah, I remember seeing like this other guy, Dave Mustaine. I was like, huh, that's interesting, right? So, start listening to Megadeth, and you hear Rust in Peace, and you're like, holy crap, this is insane, right? You hear Peace Sells, but who's buying? You hear So Far, So Good. You're just like, this guy is pissed. And like, no wonder why, right? Like, you know the history about everything. There's no need to get into that at all. But you listen to these Megadeth albums, and this guy is on a freaking mission, dude. And like, you see his name sprinkled throughout the first two Metallica albums, right? So I'm coming back to Megadeth or Metallica, right? For me, I'm coming to my conclusion for me. But you have this guy, Dave Mustaine. Like I said, I discover him in the Countdown to Extinction. And I'm like, this guy wrote I'm exaggerating, but like half the albums of Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning or whatever. And honestly, there's a few riffs of his stolen in Master of Puppets that they got away with not giving him credit, to be honest. And so this guy wrote, all this material, and now he's out cranking out other material. But what I'm kind of getting at is like, I don't think I was ever actually a Metallica fan. I was a Dave Mustaine fan, and it was disguised as, Metallica for a while. And then I discovered Megadeth, and I was like, oh, here we go. Because, look, honestly, let's think about this. Everyone loves the first three albums. There's some haters that hate Injustice for All, but everyone and their mother loves the first three albums. And you know who had a part in all those first three albums? Dave Mustaine. You know who didn't have any part at all in everything after that? Dave Mustaine. So you start to see who Metallica actually is at Injustice for All. with no Dave Mustaine influence. I'm not saying Dave Mustaine wrote half of Master of Puppets or anything. I'm just saying there's sprinklings of his riffs in Master of Puppets that he didn't get credit for in some of those songs. So there's still some of him in those riffs. And so in Justice for All on, there's no Dave Mustaine. So what happens after Justice for All? You get the Black Album. That's right. That's what happens when you take out Dave Mustaine in the mix. You get the Black Album, people. Now, granted, it's like the greatest selling album of all times, yada, yada, yada. And that's, I mean, we're not talking about the greatest album sold of all times. I mean, and that has something to be said for itself too, I guess, right? But anyways, I'm just saying, I learned that I am a huge Megadeth fan / Dave Mustaine fan. So that's where I land on that. And maybe you guys have a discussion, other points you want to bring up. I'd love to talk about this topic, but I'm telling you, Megadeth wins over Metallica. Look at the last, after the Black Album, I didn't listen to any Metallica albums after that. The Black Album, I was kind of like, that's pushing it. That's really pushing it. And then they came out with Load and Reload. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, and at that point, I'm listening to like Meshuggah, Machine Head, At the Gates, so I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Metallica's they're dead to me, right? I'm just speaking as like a typical metalhead, right? I was like 16 or 17 at the time, but but then you look at the Megadeth albums, like Dystopia, like I said, The Sick, The Dying, and Dead. That is a freaking heavy album. Like, Dave Mustaine is not slowing. He's got plenty of gas left in that tank. But you listen to the latest Metallica album, and look, no offense against, like, Motorhead or anything, but at best, that's what, like, the Metallica songs sound like. There's no, that aggression isn't there anymore, that, And look, I guess maybe it's hard to have that aggression when you're, living in Vail in a $300 million house. I mean, I know, no, not a $300 million, whatever, $50 million house. I mean, maybe you don't have much aggression anymore. I don't know. But I'm just saying, Megadeth wins the battle for me. Email me, hello@embraceyourstorm.com. There's dashes between, Embrace Your Storm. And so hello@embraceyourstorm.com. Also, check out the website, create a profile. Let's go. Let's get the discussion going. Megadeth and Metallica, why? Another thing, Kirk Hammett totally ripped off, like, all of Dave Mustaine's solos. Like, I've heard interviews of Dave Mustaine kind of making comments, like, when he was younger, making comments about, Kirk ripping off his solos, and he's seriously not kidding. If you listen to the early recordings when Dave was still in the band, with Metallica, you hear those solos, Kirk totally ripped off all the phrasing, everything, on how all those solos were done. So that made me a little bit of sad, that, as a Kirk Hammett fan. But, anyways, that's another topic. But, again, create a profile, Megadeth, Metallica, what, can you like both as a fan? Maybe. I don't know. Possibly? Let's see. So, embraceyourstorm.com and create a profile. Looking forward to hearing from you. hello@embraceyourstorm.com. And don't forget to embrace your storm. See ya.